This is Mike Conley with officials from the Small Business Administration. There was a meeting held today with the Small Business Administration and representatives from the City of Marion, McDowell County, the Chamber of Commerce, and the Marion Business Association, and the McDowell Economic Development Association as well. And I'm sorry, sir, could you please introduce yourself?
Absolutely. Dilawar Sayed, I'm Deputy Administrator for the U.S. Small Business Administration.
Okay. And can you tell me something about the outcome of this meeting?
So this meeting follows on the President's trip to the region, and of course our Administrator was also here in Asheville last week. First of all, our hearts mourn for the loss of life in this region. You know, so many we know and we've talked to they know someone who's been impacted directly. I showed up here with my team and to talk about what our recovery effort is so far, working in partnership with the SBA. As folks may know, Small Business Administration is one of disaster relief agencies. We deploy ourselves along with FEMA professionals. Currently we have 8 disaster recovery centers that are FEMA operated, and SBA is part of that across the state. Our goal is to get to almost 3 times that size in the coming weeks. We spent time with our folks at the DRC locally here, met some of the survivors, understood how they go through the process, what is their experience so far. Overall, I'm happy to report that we have approved nearly $5.2 million worth of financial assistance to homeowners, renters, and small businesses. Mind you, this is early stage. This will grow as we look at the future. From prior experience, it takes time. You know, can take years, if not decades, for these communities to rebuild. So today we brought together a number of folks, local chambers, small businesses, elected. Obviously, our mayor is co-hosting here to get the feedback for us to not only just share what we're doing, but also to solicit their participation in this. This is going to take public participation, and partnerships will be created. It will take partnership from local microbanks and our SCORE chapter and small business development centers. We want to make sure we have this pool of resources available as we respond to this devastation.
If a property owner or a business owner needs assistance from the SBA, how do they go about finding it?
So they can apply for SBA disaster assistance by visiting sba.gov/disaster. Again, they can also come in person at one of our disaster recovery centers as well. We have one right here in McDowell County, and you can take a look at all our presence on the website. It's listed again, sba.gov/disaster. There's also a phone number you can call to get information about how to get in touch with SBA to apply for a disaster loan if you have been impacted by the disaster. If you're a homeowner, if you rent, if you're a nonprofit, or if you're a small business owner. And we provide long-term loans at lower interest rate, fixed rate, and these rates are, compared to commercial market, are much lower if you don't have credit available elsewhere. But that whole process, our teams can walk you through, make sure you have, we can answer your questions. If somebody needs help with, what kind of financial statements I need to, prepare and help, we can make sure that we can bring some partners to help you with that process as well.
Will you have people here in McDowell County to help people apply for this assistance?
And we do currently, as we speak, we do. As I mentioned, there's a disaster recovery center in McDowell County. Hundreds of people are walking in, frankly, so far, and folks are there, I believe, through the entire week, except for Sundays, if I'm not mistaken. You can walk in, set up an appointment, and let me just also say this, we will be here as long as it takes to help this community recover. So that's a commitment the President has made, and we're going to make sure that we do that.
Where in McDowell County can people come for this assistance?
I will have my team attached to it, the exact information and address as to where that center is located. But
I can tell you right now, it's at the senior center. So the senior center here in Marion is the disaster recovery location where people can come and get tremendous amount of information through the SBA, through FEMA, through other sources that may be available. One of the things that I'm so grateful for the Deputy Director being here is he brought with him a group of people who are intelligent, helpful, compassionate. They know their stuff. They know how to encourage and make us aware that, first, we're not alone here. and we have people who support our efforts to recover. And SBA is a vital member of that team that we are being the beneficiary of as they are here to help us. So I'm grateful for the conversation that you led this afternoon. It was really helpful. The information that was shared will be distributed throughout the community, and it's just so much needed, and the encouragement, the emotional support is pretty much as important as the financial. It may not be hitting us yet fully, the emotional harm, but that can build up and really get us down. So that's important to know, that there are people available through the SBA.
And the mayor makes a great point. The survivors that I've met so far today, everyone gets teary-eyed just talking about what they went through.
Mm-hmm.
And to have your government representative available to you, to understand what you went through, to see what your needs are, and then be able to offer potential solutions, that's invaluable. It is a very personal experience. If you come to the senior center, we have people sitting across the table with these representatives who are patiently walking through what they need to do to see how we can help them rebuild and recover. And that's invaluable. And the president had said that, we will make sure that we hit it as long as it takes, both from FEMA and SBA, and our other federal partners as well, working very closely with the local mayors, state, obviously, entities, as well as nonprofit community and local chambers to provide the support, given just the trauma this community has been through.
This community was just now emerging from the effects of the coronavirus and the pandemic a few years ago. And now we're hit with something like this. And you're saying that you will be here for the long term.
If there's any silver lining out of the COVID pandemic, and that is that as a nation we bounced back. In fact, we bounced back even stronger. But that took the federal government's very proactive help. That took leadership from President Biden and Vice President Harris. That took making investments in our future. Make sure that agencies like SBA have the resources, have the funding to support small businesses. We served 11 million new small businesses who never knew what SBA was during the COVID pandemic, including hundreds and thousands in North Carolina. And today, look where our economy is. It's one of the strongest economies in the industrialized world. So that teaches us one lesson. When a government decides to be intentionally serving and supporting those who've been hurt during this difficult period, we can actually help companies and businesses build back even better. So it gives me a lot of hope that if we execute the way we executed the response to that pandemic, we will have this community not just back up, but actually thriving.
Thank you for your time, sir. I appreciate having you here in our community.